Hi, smart kiddos. It's Miss Susanna, and I'm back again with some handwriting. You know your handwriting journal. It's this orange one with a bus and some friends and a truck on the front. Last time we were on page 57. We were working on our sentence about our friend Pam. Pam saw what did she see? Mouse. A mouse. Pam saw a mouse on page 57. So let's turn to 58 and see what we see. I see a 5 and an 8. We're on page 58. Great job. And I also see a bunch of letter H's. We're going to work on our lowercase h, right? Our lowercase h. So let's take a look here. We see one of our little swimmy friends diving again. So that makes me think we're going to start with diving down, aren't we? Does this line dive down? It sure does. But does it dive below the line? Is it a fall letter, a small letter, or a tall letter? Yeah, it's a tall letter. It starts way up in the sky and it dives down, just down to the bottom line. It doesn't dive below, right? So let's birdie beak our little pencils. Birdie, birdie beak, birdie, birdie beak. Got it? All right, let's start our dive down trace. Start way up in the sky and dive down. Good. We traced it. Let's write it. Dive down. Great job. Next step. We're going to dive down and we're going to swim up and over. We've done that with a few other letters recently. So we're going to start way up in the sky. For our nice tall H, we're going to dive down. We're going to swim up and over. Okay? And how do we finish it up? Looks like we have another little tiny dive down. Does that sound good? All right, let's start our super tall dive down way up in the sky. Dive down. We're going to swim up and over, and we're going to finish off with a tiny dive down to end our letter H. And oops, I forgot to write it after I traced it. Okay, I'm going to trace it one more time. Dive down, swim up and over. Dive down, swim up and over. Good. And we're going to go to the last step. We dive down, swim up and over, and dive down. Little tiny dive to the line. Okay, now we traced it. Let's write it. A lowercase h. Start way up in the sky, right? Got our birdie beaks. We're going to dive down, swim up and over, and little tiny dive to finish off our H. Great job. Now let's write a bunch of them together. We're just going to practice. Remember, they don't have to be super perfect. They don't have to look exactly like they look in the book. We're just working on them together. We're getting them a little bit better and better. Doesn't mean we're suddenly super, super mega perfect at our letters. We're just getting better. Getting better at our letters. I heard a rhyme in there. All right, my friends. We could trace our capital H. Do you see how that one looks a lot different? That's because it's an uppercase or capital H. And the rest are lowercase h, which we're working on today. So we can trace this one. Big line, and a big line across. Okay, let's start on our lower cases. We know how to do those. We dive down. We're going to trace it. Swim up and over and a little dive down again. Okay, so we trace that one. Let's start at the dot and write one here. Start at the dot, way up in the sky. We're going to dive down, swim up and over, and dive down a little bit again to finish off our H. Okay, let's trace it. Start way up in the sky, dive down, swim up and over, and dive a little down again. Good job. We traced it. Let's write it. Start at the dot, dive down, swim up and over, dive a little bit again. Boom. Good job. Let's trace it again. Dive down, swim up and over, dive again. And there's your H. Okay. We traced it. Let's write it. Dive, swim up and over, little dive again. Good job. Trace it. Dive, swim up and over, little dive again. Good job. Start at that dot, dive down, swim up and over, and a little dive down again. Good job. Let's trace our last trace. Dive down, swim up and over, and a little dive down again. Great. Now we have our little blank spot here. We're going to hop over here to these lines. How about that? Okay. We have no dot. We have no letter to trace. We're on our own. Let's give it a shot. Where are we going to start? Way up in the sky. Good job. dive down, swim up and over, and dive down again. Great job. Now we've written all of our H's. And again, if you don't have your orange writing notebook, you could use a piece of paper. And if you want lines on your piece of paper, you can draw them to keep your letters the same size and shape that you want them to be. And you can have a grown-up's help to draw your lines that you're going to write on if that helps you out, okay? Now that we've written our letters, let's color in some hair. I'm going to color in some spiky Bart Simpson hair for this friend here. For this friend, I'm going to do some spiky 80s hair. And then for this friend, I'm going to do a little buzz cut, which I've seen on several of our friends on our Zoom calls because it's getting warm out. And a buzz cut can keep your head nice and cool. Okay, my friends, maybe you can show me pictures of what you did for your silly hair on all your little friends down here. All right, great job. Thank you for your work. Good H's, my friends. Stay smart, stay healthy, stay safe. See you next time, buddies.